The biggest thing that I see with a lot of like other Gragas players is that like the wave in mid game, the wave will be here and the wave will be here, and they'll immediately just run down the lane to the wave. When you always want to go mid and out every time.
Oh yeah.
Because that gives you the option, and then you can always go back after. And Gragas is so it's kind of just always better to just be pushed in or have the wave here. And this goes with top lane too. Like if you can hold the wave here, this is the best pocket for Gragas to play in because he kind of plays the early game a lot like Mundo, in the sense that Mundo also this is the best pocket for Mundo to lane in because you get to just scale and free farm. And
Okay, so I want to be pushed in basically, right?
yeah, and if you ever had the opportunity, so mid's a little harder in this sense of this is only for like the first like until you get your mana item, basically, or have enough AP to where like you can just one shot the wave with a QE and then move on.
Yeah.
This is like because the problem is though with holding the wave here is that you're gonna play against a lot of mage and range champions, and it actually fucks you if you hold the wave here. So
Yeah, they can poke you down.
Yes, yeah. So you kind of have to just be here, a little behind, and like walk up to pretend like you're going for last hits, and then moving to make it to where you can dodge abilities. But some champions' abilities are kind of impossible to dodge, like a victory. Victory is kind of impossible to dodge. It's kind of better to bait the range out and just make it to where you're fast enough to walk out of the range.
Okay. That's his his laser, right?
Yeah, and
Okay.
and like Ari's Q and E are like that's like the speed of a skill shot that you can like kind of anticipate and dodge, since you're like a faddish out the wave. Basically, if you ever get to a point where you're in lane and you don't have the mana to push a wave, then that is a key moment in the laning phase. That's like, okay, I messed up the previous 2 minutes really bad. What can I do differently to make sure I have mana to push out the wave and recall? And it's like the same thing with like the weaker top laners too. It's like the same concept. So like Mundo versus Tryndamere, obviously Mundo's not going to be fighting or trying to contest Prio because Tryndamere can just run him down with E and crits and hail blades and stuff, right? So like Mundo would just let him have Prio, come all the way over here, maybe try to thin out the wave, but Tryndamere can push him out, and then he'll just be under tower. Mundo wants to maintain enough HP and enough resources to where he can slowly play out the bounce, or just like farm with Q and then like whatever, and like eventually Tryndamere will just push him off and you'll lose some minions or whatever. But like that's gonna happen because you're playing a weaker top laner versus a stronger top laner early game. You kind of have to just accept defeat sometimes, just because you're behind. You lead it, and champions like Gragas and champions like Mundo, if you go even or a little behind, you did well in that laning phase. Your champion's not built to win lane. Your champion like Mundo is a terrorist after Warmogs. He can just push, and Gragas can just like, if Gragas finds any angle, anyone on their team will die. Especially like this game because everyone's squishy. Like in a game like this is a classic solo queue comp or whatever. Maybe switch this out with an ADC, but like this is classic where you got bruisers, assassins, enchanters, ADCs, and like kind of tanky champions. You know, most of the time you're not going to see like an Ornn and a Rel, and then like a Maokai jungle, and then you have like a hyper carry ADC with a Victor mid or whatever. You're not going to see that comp. Those are like the hardest comps for Gragas to deal with. It is kind of better to just ward Raptors because then you know if he starts Raptors, or if he hits Raptors as his third camp, or if he doesn't hit Raptors at all and you know he's pathing bot. So like the reason for the Raptor ward is that you see every path they can take because they can start Raptors invade. They can start Raptors 3-camp bot, they can start Raptors in full clear, and you see every single decision they can make right here in this pocket, or if they don't ever show up, then it's like, you know, they're just pathing down. Obviously, you could do blue and invade too, but the only time you're going to see a jungler like do Raptors and invade up here is Shaco, because Shaco can just put boxes, walk over here, hit level 2 right here, and then hop over the wall. He doesn't even have to be at the camp to destroy it. But every other champion that they invade is because they do Raptors and they go. Because that's the fastest camp, and then the other jungler will be stuck doing the thingy.
And would you like ward on the first wave, no first wave crash, or like
no, you would try to just like run it down mid and ward.
Okay.
And like before the wave even comes. It's kind of scarier with Gragas, and because like some matchups you can't really start E into, you kind of want to start Q to get the melee minions and like not have too big of a wave that crashes. Because if it's too much of a wave that crashes onto you early, then it's like it's really really hard to farm, and you're just gonna get absolutely dumpstered and lose a little bit too much gold. But like you kind of want to like you want to have like a slight advantage the entire time. Like say this is like 4 mage minions in the 2, like this is the kind of thing that you want them to have versus you. Like not super out of control, but like enough to where it is going to be held and pushed towards you. It kind of sucks, but this is only for early game. Like once you get your mana item, it is literally just shove, be aware of your jungler, be aware of the enemy jungler, and just like keep shoving and keep like being a menace anywhere you can be or whatever, helping whatever teammates winning, whatever teammates strong, pinging, and like just kind of being a menace. But yeah, so that word's fine. We're kind of just gonna, because I'm not here to like nitpick anything, because I want to like teach you how to think in the sense of like, because you're going to know you did something bad because you're going to be playing and you're going to be like, this feels awful. Why does this feel so bad? You know? And those are the moments that you want to look at in a review.
Yeah, like here.
Yeah.
He was freezing me, so I came back, but then he ignited me.
But yeah, so that works fine. We're kind of just gonna, because I'm not here to like nitpick anything, because I want to like teach you how to think in the sense of like, because you're going to know you did something bad because you're gonna be playing and you're gonna be like, this feels awful. Why does this feel so bad? You know? And those are the moments that you want to look at in a review.
Yeah, like here.
Yeah.
He was freezing me, so I came back, but then he ignited me.
But yeah, I mean, now you can just hold wave. No. There's a bad recall I said. Just not being aware of tempo or whatever. We're spending a little too much time mid lane. It's like, as soon as you see bot lane has the quest done and you have the quest done, swap. I don't care about the turrets. Like, just swap.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I thought you had to wait for, like, the T1 to fall.
No.
Okay.
It's because you're not going to get prio mid. ADC and support's going to get prio mid, and then that enables the support to move around with the jungle. Or enables the support to go bot lane and help you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It just it gives the team more options for, like, better, like, more solid plays. I like this though that you're like coming out of base and kind of like immediately running the fights, just as like a blanket thing. I'll have to like look a little bit more. We're kind of just getting a little bit of a feel. Because it's more important to get a better mindset than it's like, you need to do this right here, right this. You have to do this because this and this, and we do this. And it's only going to benefit you if you have the exact same game of League. This is the best thing about League is not every game. Every game is fucking different. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, well you should do this, blah blah blah, this. We can talk about fundamentals, but like, I'm not going to nitpick anything too crazy. And like, if we can change your mindset of how you approach the game as Gragas, you will naturally just play better anyway. So.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Because you won't be doing like crazy stuff that's like, you know, Rengar player would be doing. You'd be playing how Gragas player would be playing. It's like, right here.
Yeah.
You kind of just assess how, like, as you're moving, you assess how quickly the play, like, ended. Yeah. Like, you're going down as you're watching. And you're like, wow, okay, so they are not able to fight these guys at all. Like, it is just a slaughter. Even if you're not here, you like found this out about right here. You could just be walking back up because she's gonna get dove anyway. There's no way she doesn't get dove here unless Silas is there. And you know Zed was here. I haven't seen the whole game, so like you could have probably seen that Silas was here at 1.2 up here. I don't know, maybe not. But I would have walked back up and then been like, okay. I would literally be walking back up with my camera down here, seeing Silas, and be like, I will click down if Silas tries. I won't click down unless Silas is there, and then that would be my deciding factor to
okay.
that player.
I get it.
Yeah, it's like a lot of, it's kind of like, don't overload plays for like no reason, and solo queue. And overloading just means like, your team's already getting it done, you don't need to be there. What else can you do, or what can you prevent that the enemy is wanting to do while your team is getting that, you know? And then this entire game should have literally been you focusing what Jax is doing. Just playing with Jax the entire game, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. When the jungler is clearing camps, right? How can I play with him though?
You be patient, you do nothing. I always said that sometimes it's better to just do nothing. This would be a case that would be better to just do nothing. And then this entire game should have literally been you focusing what Jax is doing. Just playing with Jax the entire game, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. When the jungler is clearing camps, right? How can I play with him though?
You be patient, you do nothing. I always said that sometimes it's better to just do nothing. This would be a case that would be better to just do nothing.
Okay.
You could like. So communicating is really important, and like when it gets to the point where like you start to get to mid game, and you're wanting to play for you want to play for the objectives, and then there's no objectives. You do the outer turrets, then you do the mid turret, then you do the outer turrets, then you do mid turret, and then you do Baron for the base turrets. Like that's like the general rule of thumb. That's like if you're going to have a rigid mindset, that's how you would do it rigidly, you know. But yeah, just like I mean, this is just crazy. You actually like base turrets.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb, you think?
Yeah, it's whatever. It's kind of just like your bot lane. So let's just go back to where you're actually like walking out. So you walk out of base or whatever. Jax killed them. He's farming. You push wave. That's it. If you want to go bot because you saw literally no one on the map, Mordekaiser died 1v2. If Mordekaiser dies 1v2 here, that means everyone else is over here. Maybe the jungler's here, you know? But like, if there's people around Rift Herald, someone would have went up here. At least showed themselves. Or they would have like tried to help Mordekaiser. There would have been like more signs or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And anyway, if Jax is recalling, and they're here anyway, you can't go there anyway because you're Gragas, and it's like a 1v4 because you don't know where anyone is. You see Silas bot now or whatever. So seeing him bot, knowing that the best thing to do is to play with your teammates. Maybe they're also thinking the same thing. Jungle and supports typically they just stick together the whole time. So like wherever the jungle is, most likely the support's there, right? Like 8 out of 10 times. So like as soon as you see where the jungle is, that's kind of like where their next play is. That's where the next play is for the enemy team. If you see the jungler by Rift Herald, you're like, okay, their entire team is by Rift Herald unless proven otherwise. Because you have to, when you don't see anyone, you have to assume you're about to die, especially being pushed this past the point of the tempo line. Because so one of the best ways to guarantee as a Gragas player to have impact on the game is being hyper aware of like this imaginary like tempo line. I don't know if like you've ever heard about it, but it's literally like, oh, Jax is recalling and you're wanting to play with Jax. He's got 7,700 gold. Besides Mordekaiser, he's like the most fed person on the team, and you and him can kill Mordekaiser this game. Especially since like it's a Ninja Tabby's Mordekaiser, so you can almost by yourself solo Mordekaiser because you could just stun him, run away, look at him far away, and then run back to him and then stun him again and kill him. And then yeah, but it's just like a tempo line thing too, and like not really understanding. So like this isn't really like this problem wouldn't be considered a stage 2 problem, as in like, oh, it's just poor macro decision, right? Because like if you knew all the variables and you were thinking they were in that bush, would you have face checked it? Be honest. No, exactly. Sure. So there's another reason why you didn't get this information, and that is from when you were walking out of base. You were either looking at your phone, drinking or something, not thinking about the game actively. While the best thing you can do while walking, like if you think about the game while you're walking and not able to contribute anything else, and you can like assist with like either pings or like think about the game, that makes it to where when you get into the game and you're up and it's your turn to make plays or whatever, you can then switch to, instead of like thinking about where everybody is, you already had that in the back of your mind. Now you can think about, okay, if Silas is here, or like say this is a Malphite, I'm gonna walk up and just pretend like I'm walking up and then just eat back real quick, and then that can sometimes fake out a Malphite ulti, and then you just won the team fight off that, you know, like then you can like prime yourself for like extra layers of like being able to play the game better. You have to use these states of doing nothing. This is what's considered a lull state. It's kind of like the root word. I don't know if it would be like considered root word, but it's like the prefix or whatever of the word lullaby, where it's like a slowed down time where not much is going on.
I see. Yeah, that's what you wrote on Discord.
Yeah. Like you have to maximize these is super important on champions like Gragas and Ornn and all these champions that you can't 1v9, but your 1v9 is being there at the right place at the right time and doing the right thing. You don't get to like AFK farm the side lane, be Riven with 4 items and just 1v5 team fights sometimes. Because they have no CC or they don't have true damage. And so like if you can get the 4 items, or if you're Mundo and you can get the 3 items or whatever, and you're in level 16, you don't have that. You don't have anything in your kit that's like that. You have to be there, be at the right place at the right time. Or the game is just going to feel really, really bad because you don't have anything else to offer. You're a skirmishing champion that like doesn't really scale that well, and kind of just scales off the fact that like you can snowball any champion in the game. I mean, at least Gragas can get fed and get gold and like actually do a lot of damage, but you're still kind of weak on the side lane. It's hard to 1v1 like most champions in the game. Especially if your team isn't all AD pretty much, and they build merc treads and like, or it's champions that are like Mbessa and stuff that can like tank your combo or whatever in the side lane. And even then, like when you're on the side lane, junglers tend to not want to hover you anyway, and then like if you're playing against a Riven, the junglers like to hover the Riven or whatever, and so usually in a 1v2. So like most of the time you're not pushing out a side lane, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So like this is fine or whatever.
How would you draw the? Yeah. No, I was gonna ask, how do you draw like the imaginary line you you said
Okay.
before. Is it with the waves or like with the champions?
Yeah, it's the champions. It's your team.
Oh yeah.
Like how deep they are on the map. So like you can have lines like this where it's like super angled. If this is the case where it's like super bad, you want it to be straight across. Like if your team is pressuring here, you can be pressuring here and it's fine. But if no one's showing up and stopping them, you know everyone's coming top to like kill you. And if you live and waste their time and then they get this turret, that's like super OP. That's kind of like the Baus. That's like what he does.
Yeah.
He plays in a way that like draws everyone to him, and then he plays so okay, so like this is fine or whatever.
How would
And
you
then-
draw the yeah? No, I was gonna ask you, how do you draw like the imaginary line you said
Okay.
before? Is it with the waves or like with the champions?
Yeah, it's the champions. It's your team.
Oh yeah.
Like how deep they are on the map. So like you can have lines like this where it's like super angled. If this is the case where it's like super bad, you want it to be straight across. Like if your team is pressuring here, you can be pressuring here and it's fine. But if no one's showing up and stopping them, you know everyone's coming top to like kill you. And if you live and waste their time and then they get this turret, that's like super OP. That's kind of like the Baus. That's like what he does. He plays in a way that like draws everyone to him, and then he plays safe enough, and he's very aware of what can kill him, and he'll just like make it really really hard to kill him, and it'll just be super annoying. But as Gragas, you don't really want to be split pushing, so like if your team's ever posturing aggressive, which is like basically past the middle of the map or past the river, you kind of also have to be there, and either be with them if your team's even or ahead. And if they're not even or ahead, you really want to be pinging like cross map, and it kind of sucks because like you're gonna be like spam pinging like on. So like say if your team was here and you were down here and like everybody was on Rift Herald and this was like super cooked game, like a 9-2 Silas and a 1-4 Jax or something, you would be spamming your team like on their face. Like you would be literally dropping pings, assist ping on their face, and like assist ping down here and like on the way ping on this, and like pinging it as well for like the target ping.
Yeah.
Because if you don't ping on their face and you just like do like one solid blue ping, or like one solid blue ping and you miss right here and then you spam ping bot, they're not gonna know that you're talking to them. They're just not. They don't even know what's going on. Like most of the players and like they're just playing like this.
Yeah, zoomed in.
Yeah, this is all they see, and then they get, and then this isn't even here. This is gone. You know, so you really have to like. Oh, I lost the ability to grab it. Okay, so you really have to. And it sucks because they're not going to listen most of the time. It's like a 50-50 coin flip if your team actually like gives up an objective to cross map, especially in Platinum. Cross mapping's not really a thing. That's why like understanding your role as a champion and getting really good at laning phase is more important, because you're going to be forced to do 5v5s anyway. So the stronger you are, the better chance you're going to kill everybody and win the game. That's why laning phase is like super important to like get really good at. But like Gragas sucks at laning though, so it's like you kind of just like minimize super hard, and then once you get lost chapter, then get really good at the end of the laning phase where you have lost chapter until when the lane's over. If you can get lost chapter as fast as possible and get really really good at that part of the lane, then you can like snowball the lane really hard and you can kill a bunch of people and just start like surprise damaging people. But like everything you do needs to be on like the same tempo line as your teammates, because like if they're in base and you kill 2 people, you know, like if it's like especially like early mid game, well by the time they get on the base, these guys are up, and if any of them have TP, they could also TP, or like their team could just play safe for like 5 seconds and then their team's there again. So it's like you really have to pick certain parts to. You have to be really conscious of like when you kill people and when you don't kill people, especially around like objective timers. Like if it's like 20 seconds and if it's 10 to 20 seconds before the dragon spawns and you have an opportunity to one-shot 1 or 2 people, always take that opportunity, even if you have to use flash. But like if it's like 30 to 40 seconds before the dragon spawns, then if you flash to kill 2 people and you die too, all 3 of you are going to be up when the dragon's up. So like your flash was completely useless. It only gave you like 600 gold. And like maybe wasted one of their flashes, or maybe not even, because you came from out of vision and one-shot them anyway. So they still have flash and you don't have flash. And now since you're a flashless Gragas trying to 5v5, especially building 4 AP, yeah, it's just like really really hard. So like you're flashing as soon as you hit mid game. If you ever flash to live, that was a bad flash. You might as well just die.
What's mid game to you?
Mid game is like as soon as the bot lane is mid.
Okay, so when you swap.
Yeah, as soon as you swap, that's like mid game.
I see. Okay.
Because that's when the game starts like. Oh, Silas shows bot, your support and jungle go top, break the tower, push him off, do a little of this, take his camp, recall, come back here, try to like protect. You know, that's when the game like just descends into chaos. Is when the support and ADC are mid lane. So that would be like mid game pretty much as soon as the bot lane swaps mid. And mid game's the best part about Gragas. And too bad this mid game was delayed by like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, because your bot lane just going to go mid. And it's really bad for Gragas. So let's just like go through just by looking on the map. Okay. Alright. Don't want to push too far. Okay, to the lane's kind of fucked. Face check die. Super bad. Easily preventable death, just by being aware where your teammates are.
Yeah, I tried to get a pick before the Drake, but
yeah.
I got picked.
The problem is that the dragon is spawned and you're not already there. If the dragon is spawned and literally they're not all dead, they're there. They're like they're there. 100% of the time they're there. If you're not there before the dragon spawns, with wards or whatever, you didn't set up before, you can't face check. Gragas can't face check, like unless you're building tank or whatever. But that's just bad anyway. So there's no reason to build tank. And like so like the theory behind control mages for objectives is most of them want to be there before spawns because you're a zoner. You like sit here and like if Jax is trying to walk up, Oriana's just throwing Q, chunking him out to like this, then she can like EW and just walk away with a movement speed, and then like also zone him, or like Syndra just stuns everybody that tries to face check. Like control mages are really obnoxious to try to face check because all their abilities are range and CC and high damage or whatever, you know. That's like the same kind of thing with Gragas. If you're wanting to protect an objective, you can do like the whole control mage method of just sitting in the bush and waiting, or if you push out a side lane, then you can kind of use that main advantage to sneak around and like assassinate people and like play the assassin kind of Gragas style. Okay. Alright. Don't want to push too far. Okay, to the lane's kind of fucked. Face check die. Super bad. Easily preventable death, just by being aware where your teammates are.
Yeah, I tried to get a pick before the Drake, but I got picked.
The problem is that the dragon is spawned and you're not already there. If the dragon is spawned and literally they're not all dead, they're there. They're like they're there. 100% of the time they're there. If you're not there before the dragon spawns, with wards or whatever, and you didn't set up before, you can't face check. Gragas can't face check, like unless you're building tank or whatever. But that's just bad anyway. So there's no reason to build tank. And like so like the theory behind control mages for objectives is most of them want to be there before spawns because you're a zoner. You like sit here and like if Jax is trying to walk up, Oriana's just throwing Q, chunking him out to like this, then she can like EW and just walk away with a movement speed, and then like also zone him, or like Syndra just stuns everybody that tries to face check. Like control mages are really obnoxious to try to face check because all their abilities are range and CC and high damage or whatever, you know. That's like the same kind of thing with Gragas. If you're wanting to protect an objective, you can do like the whole control mage method of just sitting in the bush and waiting, or if you push out a side lane, then you can kind of use that main advantage to sneak around and like assassinate people and like play the assassin kind of Gragas style. It's just assassin Gragas is kind of really hard, and it's almost better to just like play for your extremely fed teammates because it just feels more consistent. And it's probably because I'm just bad at the assassin style. I've never climbed with an assassin. Like every time I've climbed, it's been on every single champion archetype besides like control mage and assassin. So I could just be bad at playing the assassin playstyle. Which it doesn't, like, you can play assassin Gragas, but...
But to be fair, I don't know which one I'm playing. Just play Gragas like
yeah,
I know it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what this next thing is. So you die, you enter mid. I would say you could push this wave. I would push this wave. But the silence is there. Yeah, like, that was the problem. Like, that wave felt really bad because of the tempo line. Like, your tempo line is literally, like, right here. Like this is kind of like the tempo line you want to play around, and this guy's too far past it. This guy's, like, kind of behind it, and you are just in Africa dying. So, yeah, it's really unlucky.
Now I see it.
And, like, literally, that's, like, looking at the map and just seeing where your team is, almost instantly tells you, are you going to dive if you push up forward? And, like, it's not even the fact, like, obviously, if you're really far ahead, right, and, like, this guy's 1 and 4, and this guy is 0 and 5, and, like, they're both missing 1 item, and you're 2 items, and they're both 1 item, obviously, you could, like, okay, I can probably kill this 1v2, right? Like, I might be able to outplay this 1v2 and take it. But it's still an unnecessary 1v2 with no objective, right? So, like, you can look at the play that you made, right? Like, this is, like, the whole, like, helping you if you ever review your own games. It's like, yeah, like, you can look at this play and be like, and say this is a different situation, and you were strong enough, and you just one-shot this guy. And then you, like, died by this guy. Or whatever. Like, the only thing you should be really looking at... Oh, God, I didn't see that. You died before settled.
Yeah, bro.
No, it's okay. But, like, so, like, even if this play worked out, and you, like, killed both of them... Did you flash, too? Oh, God, it's so cooked.
Did I?
No, I don't think you had flash. Okay.
But yeah, I'm still learning Zed, so...
Yeah, okay.
This is a rookie mistake.
Yeah, this is just like a... Like, sure, if you were strong enough to 1v2, you could, like, try to go for this. but where's like their support? Like the support easily could have been there too. And most of the time, supports don't just sit on their ADC. You'll never just, like, as soon as you get to Diamond, the support doesn't just sit on the ADC, unless it's like a situation where the ADC can't hit the mid wave without instantly dying by, like, just crazy engage that isn't dodgeable or something, you know? Like, if it's like a Jinx mid or whatever, but even then, they'll, like, play more as a safe back, and then they'll, like, ping their team to be careful or whatever. That's, like, higher elo stuff. And, but anyway, to review your own stuff, like, even if this worked out, you're not gaining anything from this.
You mean apart from gold?
Yeah, like apart from gold, you're not gaining anything. You should never get a kill just especially on Gragas. Getting a kill doesn't just, oh yes, I'm getting gold. I love gold. And it's like, it's not really, especially mid game. Like you're not, you know, like it's just gold.
Yeah.
It's not consistent to play for just gold. It's consistent to get gold from towers or to like get a play off that nets you like a tower. Or get a play off that nets you Baron, that nets you towers. Like, this is all, like, more consistent. You just want to build consistency. Or, like, work towards building consistency.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, and if you just played with your Jax and Ashe this game would have been extremely easy. Your Ashe and Jax are just monsters. Like, they almost 2v3, 2v4 that. And that's like the identity thing with Gragas. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like you need to be playing more around your team's tempo and who's strong on your team and like directly playing with them. Because like that is what Gragas is good at. Gragas is good at interrupting combos. He's good at when people come into him. He's not really that good at going into people. Besides like sitting in a bush. But like if you're sitting in a bush, they're face checking you. They're coming into you. You know what I'm saying? Like there's never an instance where like I can get off a big like whole fucking bomba ulti and just kill people where I'm the one going into them every single time that they're doing Baron and I've tried to like walk up E flash and get a thing. It never works out unless it's like bronze or silver. Like it literally never works out ever. And it got to the point where I was like, okay, there is something fundamentally wrong with my mindset towards Gragas because I can't get these things to work. Like I can't do combos. Like it's just not, everyone dodges it because he's like super telegraph champion, right? Besides like the invisible Qs and walls. That's like the only thing that's like hard to tell if he did it or not, you know?
Yeah.
But like everything else on Gragas is super telegraphed. So that's why in games where like if your entire team is super far behind and it's just like an extremely hard game, you will probably lose. Like there's not much you can do because you can't, unless you get super far ahead and make it to where you're 1v2 and constantly on the side lane, getting the side lanes and like just grabbing pressure away from your team and like constantly outplaying the entire team, just being like just smurfing basically. Like
yeah,
unless
basically.
Unless you're smurfing really hard, you're not gonna 1v9 games with Gragas. But that's okay because you don't have to smurf to climb. A 55% win rate is amazing for climbing. Like, especially if it's your first time. Like, if you can keep a 55% win rate all the way up, you'll climb extremely fast, especially queuing mid and, like, whatever, because you're going to get the Aegis a lot, too, because it's a whole broken system. Of, like, constantly getting, like, 0 LP just because, like, you played decently consistent in other roles.
But, do you mind, like, losing waves and being down CS when helping your team? Because sometimes, I mean, like, to play around your jungler and stuff, you'll be losing waves.
So yes and no. Mid-game, yes, because mid-game is more important to playing when your team is ready to play. That is way more important in mid-game than anything else. Like, if your team so these champions are, like, kind of whatever, but champions like Vel'Koz, where, like, most of their damage comes from having their ulti, and, like, without their ulti, they're kind of, like, half the champion, and some champions are even worse without their ulti, right? Like, Sona's so bad in team fights without her ulti, unless like her movement speed and shield makes it to where her like fed teammates can space and like we can get in like the nitty gritty, but like roughly Sona is a terrible champion in team fights if she doesn't have her ulti. Like same thing with Vel'Koz. If Vel'Koz doesn't have his ulti, terrible team fight champion. Zed without his ulti isn't nearly as scary as Zed with his ulti. You know, it's the same thing like Zed's W. Zed without his W is a useless champion. Tryndamere without his ulti is the easiest thing ever to deal with. As soon as Tryndamere has his ulti and like Ghost. Tryndamere is like a big Ghost user. If you don't have Ghost as Tryndamere, it's like really hard to play because you have to play team fights also with Ghost. Or like Gragas without Flash, and he's in Vision. No one's afraid of you, bro. Like no one's afraid of you. If you're in Vision, like just think about all the Gragases that you've played against, like maybe in like an ARAM or like before you started maining Gragas. If you see him and he doesn't have Flash, that champion has no threat on anyone besides like if you go in on him and then he can like peel you off because he's pretty good at like people coming into him. So this game is kind of just like a. Oh, my Vel'Koz has ulti, or like Jax has ulti. Ashe ulti is pretty good, but it's like not super necessary, and you won't be playing with Jax anyway. So as long as Jax has ulti, and sure you can think about Vel'Koz ulti too. Like that is like, oh okay, my team is ready to fight. Maybe I should find a way to be able to play with them. You know.
So you'd be willing to drop waves if your team is ready to fight.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the same reason why junglers drop camps like in the mid game, like when they're or like as soon as they get their first item and they drop a camp. It's because they have to be here now on this wave that's coming in. You have to be here now because your teammates are here now. You know, like your teammates are gonna die without you if you're not here now.
Sure.
And like you can kind of get away with. If you're smurfing, you can kind of get away with playing really greedy and playing like a boss style where you have like 10 CS a minute and you just like constantly throw side lane and stuff. It's just not really. You're gonna lose more than you win because I've tried that. I've played like 150 games with that playstyle. You're gonna lose way more than you win because it's just not that good for Gragas. Gragas is a really, really good team fighter. There isn't a single person on their team that can get on Ashe without being thrown across the map, and Ashe is just gonna free hit them. You know, like you are a disrupting menace. You are a wall.
So you would keep your ultimate to be the Ashe, you mean?
Well, like either peel the Ashe or peel Jax or everything.
Okay.
Like being in team fights, you need to be super hyper aware of who on your team is going to be doing the most damage for the fight. Like and playing around them. So like besides like nitpicking the tiny little things, right? Like let's get rid of the vision or whatever, and then let's go all the way back so we can actually see what's going on. Okay, wrong vision. Ashe and Vel'Koz can do damage. But this is kind of hard because it's they got there first. But Jax pushed the mid wave, so it makes it a little bit better. A little bit more control over the game back because she pushed back because she's like thinking about this wave. It's not bad. Would have been a little better to face tank that thing for him. Oh damn. So like Jax did.
What do you mean to face tank?
Face tank the Silasy, because the Silasy he could have killed Ashe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So he flashed in and got the kill, but doing that immediately made your backline die because of the Mordekaiser. And so the reason why it's so important to play with your teammates, and this is kind of like, I mean this is playable. Like they're dead, right? Like this is playable. So, but the reason you literally could do nothing, right? Like they don't have the range. And this is just like things that you can think about during champion select or like loading screen, like or like before the waves come or while you're walking the first wave or stuff. Like this is that whole time period can be where you think about like how are you going to play team fights and how does your champions what's like the advantage your champions have over the enemies or whatever, and what's their weaknesses, right? Like Vex is a kind of a short range mage. Ashe and Vel'Koz are both really long range. Sona is short range. This guy is melee. So in this sense, all you'd have to do is not E forward and just sit on these guys, and they'll just keep pumping out damage. They'll just keep being annoying or be whatever. Not only that of the whole, well, you just got your backline killed because of this like engage of ignoring your backline. Say you killed that person, killed this person, these two died, you killed this person. How are you going to do the dragon? You can't even do the objective,
yeah, right.
Bro. You're Gragas. You're fucking useless. You can't even get what you wanted in the first place. You guys did this whole team fight, and you played super well. You got it all done, but you can't even do the objective. So like that's even another reason to make sure your team lives throughout the fight as well. Like yeah, like winning the fight for your team is important, but winning the fight for your team also looks like sitting on your backline, right? Because if this wasn't like an idea in League, if this wasn't like a thing, right? Like say everything I just said was completely fucking bullshit about this team fight. How are Orns, Threshes, how are like Rels, Brahms, like how are these champions ever going to climb anywhere? How do they get anywhere? Any high elo? How is there any high elo like CC big tank people or like the skirmishers that can't do damage to objectives? Like how do any of these champions climb? You know, there's got to be more layers to like what winning and what carrying looks like, right? Like carrying doesn't mean 10-0. You know, like it doesn't mean you have 5k gold above everyone. Like that's not carrying. Carrying can simply just be your entire team lived because of how well you played that team fight. You know. So
I low-key play like Gragas bodyguard.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Like even full AP, like you can play like that. Because like there was a little analysis video that I watched that I think Coach Curtis did. I'm probably like butchering the person who did it. But it was a Korean Fizz player. I think it was Mango Fish. And instead of killing the backline, he killed every single person who tried to jump on his Ashe. He sat on his Ashe the entire time. He literally just hugged her. And every time someone went in, he like full comboed him and like over half HP and like basically killed them with the help of Ashe. Like just one shot them. And then he wouldn't even run away. He would stay with his Ashe, help her like secure areas and like zone off from the objective. And if someone came on the Ashe, he'd one shot him. He played Peel Fizz, bro.
That's crazy, man.
And Fizz doesn't even have CC. He just has a lot of damage. So like this is
Yeah.
also how you could do full AP Gragas. Full AP Gragas has a good amount of damage, right? It's enough to make it where if another teammate is hitting the person, they're gonna die because you do like you'll always do like 80% of their HP unless they're like a tank, right? So like you can play that way. Like you don't have to go for these crazy flashes, these crazy plays. Like you just have to like realize, kind of like just look at your team comp and be like, okay, well, I need to be able to do the objective. So either Ash or Tryndamere, Jax, these people have to live. Two of these people have to live in a team fight, or it's just cooked. And Jax did play this wrong. He jumped in, whatever. I mean, it's Platinum MMR, right? So like you're going to have games that you play extremely well. Like say you just knew everything that I said and you just was faker, right? You're gonna still lose. You're still gonna lose about 30% of your games. 35. Like if you played flawlessly, you're still gonna lose 30 to 35% of your games.
Okay, so you're meant to lose at some point.
Because like you're playing Gragas, right? You're not gonna be able to take objectives by yourself. Like you can play like if you're smurfing really hard, you can play really psychotic and like win 80% of your games and like have a crazy win rate all the way up to like Masters, right? Like you can start in like bronze or whatever and have like an 80% win rate to Masters. Like yeah, like that's possible. But you gotta remember, if you're a Masters player or you're a Challenger player, starting in bronze, it's gonna take you till like you get to Platinum MMR before you maybe you start losing those 10% games, and it's gonna take like Emerald before you start losing those 20% games, you know. And then those might not even happen because you could just get lucky, you know, and never have a game where your team just completely runs it down and trolls or whatever. But as someone who's learning Gragas or playing in your same MMR, you know, like if you have a 55% win rate, you are goated. You're a goated player. If you're in your peak and you're maintaining a 55% win rate, that is very, very impressive. Like you should be happy with a 52 to 53% win rate. Like if you have a 55, like you're straight smurfing your journey straight up. Like that is insane.
Damn.
Because think of it, especially as the overall win rate, right? Like when I hit Challenger, my overall win rate on the account was a 52% win rate. But like my win rate in the last 60 games was a 60%. You know, like just because it's your account's overall win rate doesn't mean you didn't improve, right? It doesn't mean that you didn't get better, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and
yeah.
It matters more the more recent play games that you have, like your next 20 games matter. Like that win rate showcases a lot more how much you got better compared to the 20 games before that or whatever. And then like on a bigger scale, like obviously, because 20 games is kind of like not enough to really justify if you got better or not. But like 50 games definitely is enough games to tell by like all of the if your team is like if you're just getting lucky or you're not getting lucky, right? So like we can, okay, so this is that. This is just, I think this is you just one-shotting the Zed because you were playing with your team and you felt way more confident in Zed just like trolled or something, I don't know. That team fight was like pretty bad, but honestly, you do a lot less like AFK side laning than I thought you would. But to be fair, you're only like the 4th Gragas player that I've coached, so like most of them had a problem with, like I think the rest of them had a problem with side laning too much. Maybe it's just because maybe because you just weren't thinking, or maybe this is just you know that Gragas doesn't really like the side lane too much.
But I tried taking your advice when you said like to play more with your team.
Yeah, which is good. You just gotta be a little bit more aware of the tempo line on the map, which is really just looking at your map, looking at your teammates. I wouldn't even go for this next wave. It is kind of scary to go for even this next wave. It was scary to go for. So that's good that you didn't. Yeah, push this wave, and this is where you face check and die because you weren't aware of the tempo. And you weren't aware of the next objective, right? So like you really do, you need to be super hyper aware of like where your team is on the map and what's the next objective. Like literally, that is like the sole thing that you can do on Gragas that will, if you get good at those things, like, and understanding now that you know you're playing for a lost chapter, you're not playing to win your lane, you're playing to help your teammates. The problem is that so helping your teammates is good, but there's moments where like your team is overcompensating, so you have to understand what like an actual decent play is and what a bad play is. Most of the time, like 80% of the time, what's a good play and what's a bad play is literally just depending is if your team is ahead or behind, or even. You like even games and you like ahead games. You don't really like behind games because, I mean, you can get like a shutdown and give it to someone on your team, but if your team gives up, then it's like you need someone to play with. But if you're even or ahead, you really like those games. And most of the time, like let's be honest, there's only 3 ways a game will go. You are either behind, you are either even, or you're either ahead. There's only 3 options. If you win every game that you are ahead and even, that's already going to be more games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you're right. The other Gragas players you coach, were they playing top lane?
One was, but the other 2 were mid.
Okay.
People really like to play mid Gragas. And most of them, Like most of them were top lane Gragases, and then I played top mid lane, and then they started playing mid lane Gragas.
Yeah, for me it's because of your like your trailer you did with the Slopey Walrus intro.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, the shit was crazy.
I set that up like way before too. I sent him that message on Twitch like 9 months before I even hit GM.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna do this just in case.
Okay, we fired it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh! Nice dipping, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I miss my ult.
Yeah, so in this situation, as soon as you like realize, you have to be really aware of the people you're wanting to play with in the team fight. So when your jungler is ahead, you play with him around the map mid game. But when it comes to team fights, most of the time you're gonna be playing around whoever does a lot of damage in the team fight and whoever like can't really live without somebody helping them. So like this is too far back, right? Like let your Jax die, bro. I don't even know what Jax is doing. Like if Mordekaiser wants to just walk away from the fight, that's cool. Because like, did he ult the Jax? He didn't ult the Jax. This vision thing should have gone anywhere, right? Oh, well he had to have ulted Jax right here. Jax was ulted this time. Oh, okay, so even, wow, weird. That vision thing doesn't even, like, that's crazy that we're still even seeing it. Oh, well, now he's gone.
What do you mean?
Wait,
Not sure I understand.
So, like, you know how when Mordekaiser ults, it's like little balls?
Yeah, on the ground?
Yeah, we don't see it in this. He ulted Jax here. The way I know that is because Ashe isn't taking damage from the Mordekaiser passive.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So but anyway, so, like, yeah. If this would have happened and my team's pushing, yeah. Especially since I don't even see them, that would have been a clear indicator to be like, Jax, you're cooked. I can't even help you. You're dead. We're gonna win the fight over here. But instead you're like, oh, I'm gonna go over here. You're like, uh-oh. Silas kills everybody.
So here, yeah, here I could be protecting my Veil cousins.
Oh, man. What was once a good fight, now you can't do Baron. Unlucky. Game. It's just like those two fights, like just from playing those two fights just a little bit worse than what you could have, just made this game really, really hard. Obviously, like face checking and dying over here, like these type of things make the game really, really hard too, because like you're just getting gold and you're not getting as much gold as you could have. You could have like maybe another item by this time or whatever. Maybe probably not. You probably have like the gliding jewel. You probably only have like 800 gold extra or whatever. All right. Any other?
Yeah. Then why wouldn't we build like Gragas a bit healthier? You know, with like Rod of Age or Cosmic Drive.
It's boring.
If we're gonna play around, yeah, but I mean, from the I agree. I totally agree. But like with the playstyle you described.
So you can in situations where it's like they have 3 tanks. That's fine. Like building more CDR and like Rod of Ages, Seraphs, like Cosmic CDR boots, like something to be able to just keep stunning the tanks and get them off your teammates or whatever. Like that's fine. But like most of the time, like that's only like 10% of games that you're gonna see like 3 or more tanks. And we're talking like actual tanks. We're not talking like 3 or more. If the entire enemy team is AD and melee going CDR AP, like a hybrid where it's like Cosmic Drive, Ninja Tabbies, and like Rabadons and Void Staff, you know, and like Zonias, like that is a crazy good build into like full melees. But like it's just like really specific. Like if they're all tanks, if it's three or more tanks, sure you can go AP Bruiser, CDR, Gragas, or whatever with like Imperial Mandate, like Rod of Ages, Seraph's Imperial Mandate. It's just you're not gonna see it. It's gonna be really, really rare. Also, the games that you do it, you're not gonna know your damage very well, so you might make a couple misplays that end up throwing the game. So it's kind of better to just maintain the same build because you'll get used to your damage numbers.
Yeah. But that makes sense.
If they like honestly, if you go the build that you're going right now, perfectly fine. If you see like control mages, if you ever go into a control mage, you can even swap out ignite for teleport, and that's good too. You don't have to have ignite. If you see 2 or more assassins on the enemy team, going exhaust is good instead of ignite or TP. Keeping your same build. The reason being is because the exhausting them kind of helps you get through their edge of night, and then you can stun them and push them off. But like full AP kind of just makes it to where you kind of can surprise one shot. If they just fuck up and like base check you can one shot them, and you still have enough in your kit to peel for your teammates. You know, like you don't really need. Like if you're playing with your teammates, you can play a certain way to where like you can still do your job. You know, you can still do the job well. It's like that Fizz thing. You know, like he was playing AP Assassin Fizz, and he still was using his abilities to peel his carries. You know, like
that's crazy. The Fizz game.
Yeah, he just peels with damage, and damage is good. Damage is like the best stat in the game.
So you, for example, you have a Kali top, right? You wouldn't go tank because your team have no tank.
No.
Okay, you still go damage.
That is a too far. So unless you are pro play, never adapt for team when it comes to like never adapt for your team extremely. So like in the case of like the tanks or a bunch of melees, right? You can adapt your build for that because that is extreme cases, right? That's just because like if they're all playing a champion that's like Yasuo or Riven, well like Ninja Tabbies and high CDR is extremely valuable. That's like checkmate build, right? That's like if their entire team is just locked in ADCs and they have like a Lucian, Tristana, Jinx, Ashe, and Sivir, and you lock in full AD armor or full armor Malphite, that is like a checkmate thing, right? But just Gragas going full tank or like more tank with CDR because his team has no tank, but their entire team doesn't have a tank, you're kind of just shooting yourself in the foot because like that game, like the game revolves around like you could build full AP and get enough damage to where like you can kill 2 or 3 people and like help your team win the entire game. But then like you can also play in a certain way that you can like peel for them. It gives you like 2 options instead of your option just being to peel for your team.
Yeah, okay. That makes you more like versatile.
Yeah. And you're not playing. You're playing in an MMR where like there is a ton of mistakes happening. So if you always go AP and you get really good at your damage and you know how much damage you do, there's a lot of times they're gonna face check you. So you're just gonna one shot them. Or like a bunch of people face check you, and then you just one shot them all at the same time because you went full AP.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're right. You're right.
I would say if you or whenever you get to like 600 LP master range and like getting close to GM, then it becomes like more important to adapt for the game. But I wouldn't adapt until then, honestly. Like, there's no reason to. Yeah, there's enough issues going on to where like we shouldn't worry about the build yet because it's like a 1%er thing. Like it's only going to make your win rate maybe 1 or 2% better, which doesn't really matter compared to like being down here, grabbing this wave and dying because you just weren't aware of your team. Like this is like a 20% concept. Like this is going to win you way more games. Just being aware of this thing than it is like, oh, I should just build Zonias. I'm like, oh no. How about we be aware of like what actually matters and not just build Zonias here?
So this is what you said, right? It's the top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
The builds.
Yeah.
Stage 1, I think.
Oh yeah, stage 1 issue would be like builds. Like,
Okay,
they're just not very important.
Yeah, that makes sense.